Hey, I went to Fenway over the weekend, Milliken.
How'd that happen?
Don't go back.
Oh, Karen, hello.
I was there.
Whoa.
I was there for the Devers walk-off. It was a thrilling afternoon at Fenway on Saturday.
When did this come to be?
What do you mean, when did it come to be?
You would say, hey, I'm going to. You would say,
Oh,
so
I bought
I'm headed to the game.
I bought the tickets last minute.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I woke up Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It was the first day of a long weekend.
Yep.
And the kids are just, hanging out.
What are we
and
doing
I'm
today?
like, we got to do something today.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I scored
I love
great infield grandstand tickets last minute because it was the rain out from Friday night. Bunch of people dumped their tickets.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a great deal, and I bought tickets, and we went to the game.
That's great.
Hey, it was a great day at the ballpark.
I like those organic days where you don't plan it for 4 weeks because you'd be dreading it if you planned it when
Kids
in a park. What are we gonna
Had
do?
hot dogs and chicken fingers and fries, all the things Zoe likes. Oh, by the way, shout out to Gene at food stand number 3. Love those people up there.
Don't out Gene. Don't out Gene.
I may have gotten an extra refill. You know,
Girl.
that's
girl,
all.
Gene.
No, boy, not girl.
Oh,
Yeah, Gene with a G.
I got
right?
you. Yeah.
Not a J. Or may have been. I don't know. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show. Watches every day.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Gene.
Gene. Appreciate you. And
He's
shout
like,
out,
here's
and
the
shout,
real
and
ketchup.
shout out to everybody at Fenway, working at Fenway. Great people over there.
Yeah.
They're always so friendly with
Well,
me.
they are.
They
They
really
usually
are.
are.
They
They
really
always
are. It's like a thing. Friendly Fenway, America's most beloved ballpark. Had a great time. Saw the walk-off that Devers had, and it still blows my mind 3 days later that they pitched to him in that situation. Milliken, what if they don't pitch to him in that situation? How much worse was this weekend for the Red Sox if the Orioles weren't stupid?
It's crazy. At that point, after that game, you had won 4 out of 5. It felt a lot like that kind of turning point, 5-3 on the homestand after the Bregman injury. But they were scared of Rob Refsnyder. They are terrified of him against a lefty, so they chose Rafael Devers. Still idiotic, but man, Rob Refsnyder scares people.
Like they should have gone 0 for 4 on the weekend. Oh. They should have. Oh. Thank you, Baltimore.
You just said the walk-off, and I go, oh, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and
I felt like
I felt
a week
Devers
ago.
walk-off. It was just like that, too. It's like, oh, yeah, remember that?
And again, they got those sweet green jerseys on that are
They're
the
growing
Friday.
on you, huh?
Oh my God, are
Do they
they
look,
ever?
do they look better in person?
They are amazing.
Yeah.
So when the
think they
mock
look good on TV.
when the mock-up
No, they
came
don't.
out, yeah, I think they do. We had said it a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago when they first had them. I
They
said,
make me like the
when the
yellow.
mock-up came out, I'm like, this is lame. They are awesome. I was dead wrong.
It was
They
because
are-
we couldn't see the yellow number
Yeah.
on it as well. It looked a little bland, and the green wasn't popping.
just once you see it in person, and you see them actually wearing it,
And the
it's-
matte helmet, ooh.
It's much different than than the mock-up. Yeah, the matte helmet works for this purpose.
Where's the yellow, Milliken,
because
you're
the
talking
matte helmet matches the matte wall.
Yes.
So this is the first matte helmet I've ever liked.
So they got the green right.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I was reading about it over the weekend. I think maybe Pete Abe had written about it. And they said Nike had to work at getting the green to match because you can't just – it's not like you're painting a wall and you walk in and say, give me Ben Moore color whatever.
Just doing it right. Williams, what are you talking about?
No, they had to work because it's on a fabric. They had to keep tweaking it so that it would actually look the same color. That it took some actual work. They're sharp. Great unis. Great City Connect unis for the Red Sox. They have gone 2 for 2 on these. First with the yellow, now with this.
That makes more sense than the yellow and the blue. Like
I disagree. The yellow
From
and
a
the blue
marathon
has a
stuff?
purpose. It's
Yeah.
a marathon.
Yeah. But I don't think baseball when you think marathon.
Yeah, but this is a nod to Fenway
This
Park.
is
You
this
can't
yeah.
get more Red
This is
Sox
your
than that.
ballpark. This is an ode to something you're never going to change.
Well, it's great. It's great. And thank you, Baltimore, for being so stupid to pitch to Rafi Devers when you did in extras on Saturday because it could have been, again, an 0 for 4 weekend. They broke out and had 19 runs prior to that in the first game that they did get in on Friday. And then they have the they follow that up with an emotional walk-off win in a hard-fought game in which they got a decent performance out of Hunter Dobbins, right? They piece the thing together. They hang in there long enough. and they win. And what do? Following that up, like they've done every time after a big emotional win, they, boom, fall flat on their face the next day. Why can they not, or that night, I should say, first
7
of the,
innings, Lucas Giolito. Are you kidding me?
First of the doubleheader. That night. It didn't even have to wait for the next day. It happened that night. They just fall flat. After every one of those wins, they fall flat.
It's the dread of the next game.
They cannot keep it going. They cannot carry it over. It doesn't mean anything when they have these wins. Nothing. And some way, somehow, they still have managed to not get shut out between that game in the second half of Saturday and then again on Sunday. But I'm telling you, man, they are now at the Memorial Day checkpoint, and things are not good for this team. They cannot dig themselves out of it. And now they've got the Bregman injury to add to this. And, well, that's going to be a while. That's not a quick one. You know, there was some hope on Friday that it wasn't going to be that serious, that it might be an IL stint, but the kind of IL stint where you're right back at the end of it.
Because it was what he said, right? The player, Bregman, said, it's not that bad, but when Cora goes, it's significant.
But he came back the next day and said it didn't feel that bad following the injury itself, but then didn't sleep by the next day. It was feeling a lot worse.
Great.
He essentially said it wasn't as bad as the 2021 injury that cost him 58 games in 10 weeks. And then when he woke up, he was like, oh, no, this is exactly what it was, maybe worse.
Not great.
And he's 4 years older now.
Yeah. You don't heal as well 4 years later from anything.
No.
So now you miss your best bat for 2 months potentially in Bregman, or second best bat, because I don't know why you would ever pitch to Devers again.
There is no protection in that lineup, which is why, again, Saturday was mind-blowing. I'm thrilled that they did it, but there's nothing behind him. It's automatic out after automatic out in this lineup. And yes, they called up Marcelo Meyer over the weekend. That's exciting.
That gets lost in all of this.
I mean, that just gets buried because, well, you know, the lineup is so bad.
Before you were hoping to replace Trevor Story, who's arguably the worst hitter in the sport. Now you're having to replace the guy who had the highest WAR on the entire team.
Well, you got a guy that used to play third. It makes it really easy, though. Just plug him back there. Then you get to call the next fiend on him.
Well, yeah, it'd be Roman or even Yoshida, another professional hitter, but that's
put Devers
not
on third.
the table.
Put Devers on third. You call up Roman.
Hasn't taken grounders since Toronto.
So he's former third baseman.
I agree with you.
Play
but
in your sleep.
They're not going to do it.
Why?
Whether it's the player or the team at this point.
Well, then fire the manager, get the new manager, and tell him.
We'll get to that.
Get off your ass and go play third. That's what you do.
We'll get to firing the manager. That's coming.
Oh, that's on the table.
It is on the table.
When you're in a malaise, that's on the table.
It should be on the table. They should be moving toward that. If they haven't started thinking about that already, they should start thinking about it. More on that from yesterday. We'll get to it in a bit. But Meyer gets called up. The story has been, how did Alex Cora put it? We're disconnecting him?
That was it. It's like when a computer breaks and they run out of ways to fix it. They're like, just start unplugging.
It's almost like
IT in this building.
They're unplugging Trevor Story. They're going to let the battery drain down and then try and do a hard reset.
Well, sometimes
they're disconnecting him.
They tell you to do that with your iPhone, right? Just let the battery run out and then charge it from
rice.
zero.
Yeah.
It's me every day.
I've got unfortunate news is when you plug that computer back in, it's still going to be running very slowly. It's not going to work. The man can't hit a fastball. If you can't hit a fastball.
Did he forget how to play baseball? I mean, talk about just falling off a cliff. Jesus.
I mean, he's toast. He's absolutely toast.
One of his hits was against an infielder
who almost retired him twice in the same inning.
Great line from another one of our listeners. Didn't catch his name. Sitting in front of me on Saturday, he said, even Pedro Serrano could hit a fastball. Right? I mean, the guy can't do it. His career is done. He can't hit. It's over. Can't produce. Automatic out. And his defense is mediocre. So he doesn't have that to hang his hat on anymore either. He's in trouble. Team's in trouble. They cannot dig themselves out of this thing. And the rest of the division outside of the Yankees kind of blows, which has saved them in all of this.
And you're still in fourth place.
Yep.
You're closer to the Orioles at the bottom than the Yankees at the top.
I know. Let's talk about the manager. He had another bad day yesterday. Bad day. On a team that can't afford it. That can't afford managerial F-ups. They can't. The margins are slimmer than ever for the 2025 Red Sox.
Was a clown show, joke show, as Caleb Porter would say.
But what was the second
Unbelievable.
half of it? It was Marcelo Meyer going over there, picking up the ball and throwing it away. I think that's going to be where people go. But I do think you should use this with the team that does not have the talent right now to be a division winner. You should still look at how they play and how they perform. Because if they still look dead out of there,
we
that's
don't
where you
believe
criticize.
we don't believe they can win the division.
Right now, no.
Okay, so we're already conceding the division.
Yep.
That's one.
All right, there's one thing gone. Number two, just to go back to what you're talking. By the way, that play
Unbelievable.
is a sure sign that all the things that have plagued this team in recent years have not been fixed. And the guy in charge has not been able to fix them.
It's the buttoned-up part.
But
Yeah.
what was anyone alarmed by the fact that the Red Sox bring up one of their biggest prospects probably in years, right? I mean, Marcelo Meyer has been talked about
Yes.
routinely since the day he was drafted. That's not common. You don't get a lot of guys that people talk about from the time they're drafted. He's one of those guys. And they bring him up, and they're starting him at a position that he played a total of 6 times at AAA. Did that not catch anybody as like an alarming thing?
He wouldn't be playing there if Bregman didn't get hurt. He can play third base. I'm not worried about him.
I'm not either. But doesn't it kind of speak to how things have been built here and how dysfunctional some of this is? Because I think that does work in Alex Cora's favor. That there's a roster where the pieces don't all fit, the puzzle doesn't make a ton of sense at times. That should be one of those things where you're like, organizationally, the F are you doing?
I feel that way more towards Christian Campbell and the fact that he's going through hell this month, and you're trying to teach him a third position.
That's a similar
right?
situation.
Well, it's a guy you talk about every 5 seconds that first
Meyer
week.
is gifted defensively in a way where he can play third or short. We see that happen.
I
all
don't
the time.
disagree. Should he be playing short?
No.
Right now,
Yeah.
yeah, I would bench Trevor
Yes,
Story.
thank you. Right, and so that kind of, again, speaks to, will someone take command of this and actually make, if you think the division is out of the question and you're just going to fight for a wild card, well then why don't you do the things that are in the best interests of your team for the rest of this season and beyond? Who gives a F about Trevor Story? He didn't help this team get to anything or anywhere.
No, he's hurting you.
Sit him down. He's hurting the team. DFA him. You could kick him to the curb. I don't even think I think he'd have a hard time finding a job in the next couple of weeks. Like, he'll make a roster somewhere, but it won't be because they want to plug him into the starting lineup. He's a utility player.
He goes to the Dodgers like a Jason Hayward. I think that's what they're scared of, and he's just a decent player, a player able to give something.
Whatever.
Get over it.
He's
the
not
loss.
helping this team. He's hurting this team. Move on. Move on. Plug in this guy at shortstop. Because this could get so bad that this team gets to the trade deadline and they're in such a bad way they're going to end up being sellers anyway.
$16.9 million. You got to get that off the books to get underneath.
If they don't get this thing turned around, they are going to sell off, get under the CBT, and shoot for next year. And I'm sorry, I don't want that for them. I want them to turn this thing around here, going into the month of June, to get this thing turned around and right the ship. And that's going to take some people making tough decisions and tough calls and not being afraid to rip off Band-Aids. So who is that in this organization that's going to do it? Is it the manager? Probably not.
Nope.
He looks
would've done
checked
it.
out.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Breslow? I hope. Is it going to be someone above Breslow? Is it going to be Sam Kennedy saying, can we make some effing changes here? Because we did not go into this year spending this money, turning things around from an ownership standpoint, just to let it go to crap and sell at the deadline. Can we right this ship? And that's what they just lack right now.
They have a solution sitting there in AAA who say what you will about Roman Anthony.
You're right.
Even if he struggles and he comes up and he can't do it, it's still worth the development for a team now that is no longer looking like a division winning capable team if you're competing for a wild card. So either he comes up and great, he mashes and you go on this ridiculous run, or he gets the needed reps there. Either way, the fact that you still have Ceddanne Rafaela out there with a 600 OPS, who Cora seemingly first for the first time yesterday during the pregame show, took a little bit of a shot and said, it's 2.5 years. Like, eventually you got to grow. You got to show signs. And right now he's been a worse hitter than he was the previous year. There's no excuse for Roman Anthony to be sitting in AAA right now.
Where is the urgency? We've been harping on this for 2 weeks. Where's the urgency in game? Where is the urgency organizationally? The Meyer thing is nice. It's a good move. It's a big deal. And they bring him up and they start him at third base in his first game in the major leagues. What? I mean, all right.
Well, based on Christian Campbell, too. You know, it's going to be tough on these kids.
It is.
Like, you
Don't make it harder.
Kids are going to
on
go
them.
through growing pains. So you're saying they got 2 moves to make, really. It's DFA, Story.
Yes.
And then the second
bring
one
up
is,
Roman Anthony.
if you get the balls to do it, you're going to have to get rid of Cora.
You could do that.
And it's going to be Breslow's call with the backing of Sam Kennedy and the owner. Because they've already showed that, hey, we're concerned here. We got our asses on a plane. We went to Kansas City. Things aren't good. Things still haven't turned around since that month ago when we did that. And whoever you're going to hire and elevate, you're going to have to bring up the other guy, and you're going to have to tell your former third baseman to go back and play third. And I know he won't like it, but it's for the better of the team. You get another kid up, another bat. That's how you attempt to fix things and get back in the mix.
Love Narvaez, though. Sucks that his manager took him out of the game yesterday. That was stupid. Oh, was that stupid.
All the Christian Campbell Rookie of the Year talk, he's second in WAR right now amongst AL rookies.
Okay. That's good. Good for him. I'm not worried about him. That's not on my radar as a concern, other than they keep trying to get him to play new positions. Yeah, way to develop the player.
Yep.
Way to make it a nice, comfortable landing for him to get the most out of his talent.
Smooth
in year
transition.
one. No, let's do that. Let's talk more Rob Refschneider with some pretty pointed comments after the game yesterday, and also Andrew Bailey on Garrett Crochet. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.